Hi guys, welcome back. It's Mrs. Peterson, that lady who teaches art, and today we're going to talk about the element of art called form. Before we begin, please put your first name, last initial at the top, and then put a 2 for second grade. As I said, our special word for today is form, so I'm going to have you write that right here. It's F-O-R-M. That's our term for today. And here's a picture of form. Form is when something is not flat, it is three-dimensional. So over here, you are going to put not flat, which we would call 2D, but it's 3D. Okay. And usually we think of things like sculpture, like if I create something out of origami or clay, that has form. But we can also draw form by adding shading, shadows, and a horizon line to our drawing. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start by creating a picture of a sphere. A sphere, I'm going to start with a very flat circle. Would you do a circle in the middle of your field right here for the sphere? And I want to do a horizon line. And this time we're going to do our horizon line through the object. Right now it looks like it's just floating in the middle of outer space. But if I do a line, I'm going to turn my paper too. I'm going to teach you a trick. It is easier for your wrist to go down and make a straight line than it is to try to go across. Oh, mine looks a little slanted, but at least it's straight. Sometimes I get it up top here and down here. All right, and now it already looks like it's sitting on a table somewhere, but let's shade in lightly. I'm just going to do diagonal lines. We call this hatching, lightly above my sphere. And it can be super light because that'll take way less time. Okay. And then we are going to draw on our light source. Now, usually we would not do this if this is a final drawing, we would never do this. But I'm going to have you draw on an arrow to show where the light is shining this time. So if the light's shining at the top left at an angle like that, then that means my bottom right is going to be the darkest. So I'm going to twist my paper so I can get to my bottom left. And I'm going to put a curved line, like a smiley face, down there in the corner. And in that little sliver, I'm going to color as dark as I can with my pencil, creating hopefully black without ripping my paper or breaking my pencil. After black, I'm going to create another little curved line. And oops, I want to go a little more curved here. And in that little section, I'm going to go dark gray. So I don't want to go quite as dark as I just did, but it still needs to be pretty dark. Okay. Kind of a weird little bump in mine, so I'm going to smooth that out. Okay, one more curved line. And then inside that, we're going to go middle gray. Middle gray is just like how much you would normally push when you're writing. So it's not super dark. All right. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put a highlight on here. So go up to where the light is, and you're going to use the side of the ball to kind of make a little oval. And it's going to stay white inside the oval. And it's going to be light, your lightest gray, right around that. Oh, I got a little dark right there, so I'm going to use my eraser. That's another tool we have when we're drawing. If we get too dark, we can go back. All right, I have all my shades on the sphere. Now I'm going to create my shadow. My shadow is going to mimic the shape of my object, which is going to be round, but it is going to be elongated. So I'm going to make an oval. And inside the oval, I'm going to use little circles, call this scumbling, darkest right up next to the object, and then they get lighter as they come away. Okay. For the next object, we are going to create a cube. So again, I'm going to start with a very flat square, and I'm going to use shadows and shading and my horizon line to make it look three-dimensional. So the first thing I want to do is I want to draw it into a cube. So I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to go straight up at a diagonal as if this is like a kite that's flying straight down into the ground. And then that same angle, this can be hard, we're going to try to go that same angle on these two. Okay, then I'm going to go flat across the top and straight down. And oopsie, I messed up a little bit. Go straight down here. Okay. Get yours looking cubish. And then we're going to do a horizon line. The horizon line this time, we're going to put it way at the very top. And we're going to color under it this time. And I'm going to color just light gray again. The line already helps so it doesn't look like it's floating in outer space. But it's extra helpful if we color the either above or below in. And you can do either, it doesn't matter. Just if you were drawing in real life, you would say, oh, is my table darker or the wall behind it darker? All right, and then we are gonna have our light this time come from this side. So draw that arrow one, which means the front is gonna be the darkest. So I'm gonna shade that at least middle gray, but it could be darker. Just kind of depends how strong the light is in the room. And it also depends if the cube is white or not. The side is going to be the lightest, or excuse me, the top is going to be the lightest. The side is going to be our light gray. Okay. And then we have one more thing we need here, which is our shadow. So if I take this diagonal line and I just continue it down, and then I try to copy that diagonal line here and go straight across here, there's going to be my shadow boundary. And I'm going to go scumbling little circles, darkest right next to the object, and lighter as I get away from the object. Okay, and then there's one more step I want to do. Which is to do a little blending. You can use a cotton ball or a Q-tip, but whenever we blend, we're going to start with our lightest area. So I'm going to start above my line here. And same thing down here, below my line down here. Then I'm going to shade my lighter areas on my objects before I get to the darker. A Q-tip works a lot better, but I could not find one right now. So if you have Q-tips, that works a lot better than what I'm trying to do with this cotton ball. But blending just makes it look even better. All right, guys, I can't wait.